Welcome to Sincerely Bhakti, and today we are going to explore how real yoga is powerful and never watered down. So we are reading from chapter 6, verses 13 and 14. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. One should hold one's body, neck, and head erect in a straight line and stare steadily at the tip of the nose. Thus, with an unagitated, subdued mind, devoid of fear, completely free from sex life, one should meditate upon me within the heart and make me the ultimate goal of life. So Krishna is explaining here the process of dhyana yoga. Dhyana is that meditation upon God. And so Arjuna is his student, and he's telling him his directions for how to attain transcendence. What's interesting here is that Krishna is giving Arjuna a process that is just really hard. And that's not me just saying that. Arjuna himself says it about 20 verses later, verse 33 in chapter 6. Arjuna says, "O Madhusudana, the system of yoga which you have summarized appears impractical and unendurable to me, for the mind is restless and unsteady." Arjuna is speaking for all of us. He's saying, this is difficult. You're telling me to sit in a solitary place. And Krishna has already described, you should sit in a secluded place, lay on a kusha grass mat. You shouldn't be too high or too low. Then later on, he says that you need to control the mind and your activities. You need to regulate your habits. Don't eat too much. Don't eat too little. Don't sleep too much. Don't sleep too little. So Krishna is explaining this process of dhyana yoga. And Arjuna himself says, this is impractical. I can't do this. And Arjuna is speaking for all of us. When we read this, there's something very seems unattainable to read a verse like this. But Srila Prabhupada, who writes the commentary to this verse, never waters down Krishna's words. He simply says, the goal of life is to know Krishna, who is situated within the heart. And that is what Krishna is saying in this verse. Meditate upon me within your heart. That is the ultimate goal of life. Srila Prabhupada emphasizes the importance of being free from sex life. He doesn't say, oh, that's impossible. It's impractical, so don't even try. Srila Prabhupada is emphasizing that sex life can really degrade the soul. He quotes Yajnavalkya here about the essence of brahmacharya, that the vow of brahmacharya, which is abstaining from sex life, is in work, minds, and mind at all times, under all circumstances, and in all places. So this is not a simple, like just not engaging in the act of sex. Once I was on a subway in New York City, and I saw somebody holding a Lululemon tote bag. And Lululemon is a very popular yoga apparel company. Very expensive clothing, by the way. And this tote bag, had the word brahmacharya on it, and it had the definition of it. I don't even remember what it said, but it seemed like it was obviously some fashion statement to say brahmacharya, and it's on my tote bag. And if it's on my tote bag, then I must be doing it, right? But Prabhupada denounces this kind of mock yoga practice. He says it's a mock yoga practice if you are not actually abstaining from sex and actually learning to control your mind and become self-controlled. He says that one cannot enjoy sex life daily at home or elsewhere and attend a so-called yoga class and thus become a yogi. So yoga is so much deeper and much more powerful than simply gymnastics. Srila Prabhupada calls it gymnastics, or something that seems admirable, that you can sit in one place, you can meditate upon, stare at the tip of your nose, right? the goal of all of these mechanics of such a sitting in a secluded place and to meditate is to meditate upon the Lord within the heart, because it clears out all of the distractions. So this Lord, this form within the heart, this Vishnumurti, is the goal of all yoga practice. And Srila Prabhupada emphasizes this in this verse. And so by no means is sex evil. In fact, Krishna himself says in the 7th chapter, 11th verse, that he is sex life according to religious principles. And Prabhupada emphasizes in that purport that it should be used for procreation, because that is the purpose of sex. So by no means is it evil, and there's concession for it by being married. And I immediately think of this hookup culture that we have now in our modern times. There are so many apps out there where you can literally just match up with someone who is in your area, and it's a stranger, but somebody who you're attracted to, and you can somehow or other have sex with this person once and then leave. It's taking one night stand to a whole other level. So that kind of practice, that kind of mood is degrading. There's no way you can make spiritual progress if you're engaged in that kind of activity. And that's a little bit more obvious, gross level. But as Yajnavalkya says here, that brahmacharya is about every aspect of abstaining from that kind of indulgence. So it's about controlling the mind and becoming purified, purification. And so Srila Prabhupada wasn't interested in attracting, millions of followers just to become famous. He wanted sincere students. And sure, there are many swamis out there or practices that are a little bit more lenient, but he never watered down the words of Krishna. He's presenting Bhagavad Gita as it is. And in this whole commentary to this verse, Srila Prabhupada never says anything that, oh, this is impractical, staring at the tip of the nose. Just skip ahead to verse 33, where Arjuna himself says it's impractical. He emphasizes everything Krishna is saying. And he only elucidates that the process of devotion is what will actually enliven the heart and gives a higher taste. So if people are actually looking for satisfaction within sex, where can you find the true satisfaction you're actually looking for? And so Prabhupada emphasizes here that you need to have a superior taste. And when you have that loving devotion to God and to his devotees, there's a higher taste. And you lose the attraction to sex on that very basic material level where you're just looking for sense gratification. So at the end of the day, what we really want is bhakti. We want to have experience and practice loving devotion to God. And that is ultimately what makes this process so beautiful and even effortless, because it's emanating from the soul. So those are my thoughts on this verse, and that the power of yoga is that we can follow Krishna's words and find potency there and to never water it down. Thank you, and I will see you next time. Hare Krishna.